have to have a stable build. That's the features that we want to show off. So ideally, we have at least a key ring on screen, right?
I mean, we have literally everything.
Hey, welcome back. So this is day 11 of the 100-day game development challenge, and today for my goal, I'm gonna have the players win the game. So far I've made a you win screen, and when you play the game, it'll show up when the players actually touch each other. I'm gonna demonstrate that. So this is the progress I made from yesterday, and just a small animation to get started, and the you win. And you can like walk under / touch the buttons, and the first thing I want to do is I want to make sure that both players are able to walk on the button. So other than like some of the bug you saw before, where when you start the game, those buttons still show up. I'll have to resolve that later in the stream, or I plan to at least, because I don't think it'll be anything very difficult. But for now, while they're still up here, I can do some of the other functionalities for them, which might include also having the player just move up on the z-axis. I have them both on the same level, on level 1 of the z-axis, and if I bump them up, I think that should allow them to be on top. Let's see. Yep. Boom. Okay. And like you can see that I'm shaking. I'm shaking because I'm trying to go left and right. And that's on this red button on the right side is actually where that button is. So what I want to do is I want to make it so that in the grid it resolves as you can just be on top of those. And it's going to look very similar to how the tile open looks. I have the different types of tiles up here. There's a win tile, which I'm going to change to a continue tile. I don't think I've started using it just yet in the code anywhere. I'll control F. Win. Yep. I think... Oh, you win is winner. Okay, but not the tile itself, which is great, because I want to change the tile from in here and in the pond to a continue tile. I think that makes more sense to have a continue tile, a restart tile, or it's not actually restart, continue level select tile. Let me make sure to change that. Yep. And a quit tile. So I'm going to change all of those, the names of those, both here and in the pond, so that all the other nodes inherit the right tile names. So continue. But hey, I say, how are you doing? Control C, and then the pawn, yeah. Control V, there we go. Continue level select and quit. Though there will be more of them later, but for now, these are the ones that I have. Grid. So tile type, if it's continue, we're going to return and do an update the pawn position, pawn start target. Okay, so this should work for the blue button. Well, it wasn't too hard to do that. I'll do the rest of them too. They're pretty copy paste, I feel. I just have to change that one variable. Quit. Level select. And
There's
Control V. Quit.
modified sphere, and this one's just fucking funny because he
Okay.
just took some faces out of it.
Now when I run, I should see that I'm able to walk on top of them. Even though I am technically hitting them, I can walk on top of them now. Perfect.
Oh, also,
Okay,
this is
I'll check that off on my list. I before I started, I wrote a list of like things that I want to accomplish, and I thought they were pretty small. So,
is like a
done.
Borg Star Destroyer.
and now the next thing I want when the level loads that, or when those tiles load onto the screen, that they take up 2 spaces instead of 1. And to help with that, I'll print a statement. Say, you walked on the continue tile, so that I know when I'm doing it. It'll allow me to check it later. Control C, Control V, Control V. Level select. Select and quit. Cool. I think those should work right now too. You walked on the quit tile, and then it only prints once. Probably because I'm just making that tile open. I hope it's not making that tile an open tile. How do I make sure that it doesn't do that? Well, I have to remember where I down here update palm position. Yeah, I set the cell to open. So what I need to do is I need to set it back. So if you hit the continue, I'll set a var for new position equals update palm position, Control X, Control V, and then I'll set the target back. Set, or there we go. Set cell B. It takes a position, which is going to be the target. The tile is going to be tile type. Continue. And then I'll return the new position. Control C. Control V. Perfect. And then I'll do the same for the other ones. It'll just be very much so this. Control C. Yeah, me copying and pasting. If I have any errors, it'll be with all of them. But I love copy pasting. It speeds up my work sometimes. Oh. Control C, Control V, and quit. Control C, Control V. There. Now I should see that pop back up. So walks on the quit tile, I walk off, and no, I don't. What I'll do, is I'll make a print statement that says you walked on an open tile, and it'll be annoying. Yeah, sure, but it'll allow me to see if I'm still making those guys open tiles. Quit tile, I walked on it. Open tile, yep, it's still making it open. So, there, now I can get rid of that. I know now that I'm making them open tiles. And I have to not do that. I don't mark, yeah.
크게도 이해탈 안 해줘서
Cassius is sad there.
크게는 어떻게? 크게는 어떻게?
What if instead of making the target, because I've changed the target, what if I make the, where the pawn is now, or say update pawn position, should I don't know if I should be doing it inside of the update pawn position, or if I should be doing it somewhere else. So here they say the start is now equal to open. The target is now equal to pawn type, and the start is now open. I see what I'm doing. I can't have it be two of them. Ah, that makes sense. So when I leave those spots, I have to set them back. They have to be persistent. How do I have them interact that way? That'd be interesting. Or do I care? I'll bring them back. I'll bring them back to what the open looks like. Yes, it does set them open. But something I did not think would happen. There, get rid of those print statements. Boom. So they're all saying the same thing. They're all being set to open. I could. Let's see if I keep them the same. Or if I come down to update pawn position and I say, hey, except for these tiles, if it's not these tiles, set it to open. Will the player still move on it? And the question, and it doesn't look like he will.
I feel like
this is gonna be more difficult than I thought it was. Man, I was happy. I was happy to see them on screen and that you could walk on them and stuff.
You want the biggest
I could set a state like menu options that the player has selected, and when they flip those,
and then you scale that down to 2.
And then I would have to be like when you move off, like reset it. I think that would be good, like so that each player's choices are isolated to the player, and I'm gonna make more choices down the line too.
We have something that's like a half, then we want it.
Both players should be able to walk in buttons, and they do. It could be something similar to it could be something in the pawn, like each pawn can make choices. It's really each player, and each player can make a choice. I wanna kind of go down this path and see where it leads me. So I could say, so it's like player choices, or I'll call it choices, because the only people making choices is the player, and they're making one choice at a time. When their choices are to continue, to level select, or quit. Those are the only choices they have right now, but there will definitely be more choices down the line. And I'll make sure to copy that into the player. Control C. Player. Control V. There. Player, you now have choices. And grid. The signal will belong to global events. Well, can it? Can it? It can if I want both players to choose. I wrote down some notes in my notebook, and my plan was to have some choices be able to be selected by just one player, and for some other choices to be selected by both players. It has to be kind of like if you wanted to continue playing, so like the continue level select and quit. The yellow button is continuing. Both players would have to be on that tile to continue the game and move to the next level. And then the same thing for the blue being the level select button, but only one player would have to be on top of the quit button for the game to go back to the main menu, or quit to quit. It's actually not quit, it's main menu. I wrote all this stuff down in my notebook. I'm like, I have a plan now, and just like with all game programming, it doesn't exactly fit the way I thought it was going to in my head. So, but here, let me product some logic out there. If I can emit a signal call, like a player has made a choice, send that out, and then each player will be able to hear that signal that they've made their choice. The grid has noticed that you've made a choice and sent it out. The player can like decide for himself that it's been like that. Like or say it would be I feel like it would be a global event, because when I continue, I want to move to the next level, and it shouldn't just be the player that hears that. It should be all components. And same for the level select. Like I imagine that multiple nodes or different versions of these are going to want to hear that the players want to move to the next level. So I may actually have to write some logic in global events, which is going to be cool. But for now, I need both players to ready up. More states. I guess I was just debating like who controls the signal, who's gonna have it. Right now I have this is winner. Oh yeah, that's for if you have one to show the screen. Man, my logic is getting spaghetti logic. That's what happens when you don't like document your code. You forget. I mean, I wrote this yesterday, and I've already kind of sort of forgotten like what I was using it for. But alas, I'm gonna continue. What I have works, and if I come across a problem, I'll have to sit and resolve it as is. Signal. Yeah, and then see, I feel like it's like if I had static variables, I could. Yeah, I know what to do. So the players made a choice. So signal, player made a choice. It doesn't have to be static. And I do need to know what choice they made. I'll make it lowercase to match the other ones. And then I'll have a variable that says both players. Or yeah, I need. It'll be a variable for both players. It'll store how many players have made that same choice, and it will just be like an integer. Players made choice. Number. It's just the number of players. Let's see. made a choice. Now, like, this is my second option for, like, if I want to make variables, I can just make them really long and self-explanatory that way. But that doesn't necessarily work out all the time. I'll follow my own advice that I've been putting into my retrospective, which is just to document my code as is. Number of players that have made a choice, have made the same choice. Yeah, it's supposed to be static-y, and I'll say resets after choices have been made. My other option, I'm thinking about it, is to like use a boolean, and I think this will work just fine. So players made a choice. I can go to the grid and say, hey. Yeah, I'm still working on players should be put walk-on buttons, and I haven't even gotten to players should take up 2 spaces. I just I want the players to be able to toggle on or off whether or not they make the choice, but then that thing is actually not persisting like I want it to. Oh man, I've gone down this path. Yeah, no, that should work as long as they stay on it. I can always reset it every time I receive 2 of them or something, or 1 depending on the choice. So it's gonna be like global events. Oh, emit signal. Player made a choice, and the choice that they made is going to be choice dot. This one's continue. I feel like I will definitely write a diagram after this specifically for how this works, because this is a little complex. Control C, Control V, continue, level select. Control C, Control V, and then quit. This should be main menu, but I'm bad. Here, I'll do that. And I'll just add it. Like so. I will eventually need to quit, so, and it doesn't matter to me what the number is. Pawn. Main menu. I just have to make sure that my logic all matches up and that these enums all match up. So that in the there and this in the player. Quit. Main menu. Oof. Talk about doing more things at once than I should be doing. Main menu, main menu, main menu underscore. I'm just making sure that they all have the underscore. And then I can come back down here and make sure this has an underscore and change quit to main menu. There. That's the choice they made. You know what? I'm saying, you know what? You know who also needs a copy of these enums? The globals. Available choices for the player to make. Control V. There. Yeah, you probably for later thinking, hey, I'm gonna be actually doing the logic for player choices here in the global events for whatever reason. Ah. Okay, now I can hook up the player to say, hey, input connect, Control C, Control V. Some things need to change, like it's global events that are doing this. Global events. Change this to the different events that I've selected, or player made a choice. Make sure I have the right, and then a new function. Error is already defined. Yep, that's why I'm reusing it. Yeah, and see, I did good on these to like define what they're doing. Now for another function, and it's going to be on player made a choice. And it's going to take in the choice. I almost put brackets. I was like, I'm ready. C++, I'm ready. You know what? While I'm here, I can totally do this. Like, let's keep this whole documentation thing up. Player made a choice. So this is kind of sort of getting into what I thought AI, like if statements. That's AI, right? Brief. See, it's really just gonna set a flag, or it determines what a player. Let's say it just holds a choice. Or I guess I guess I never really decided out what I wanted to do after the player made that choice. Nothing. Yeah, not really. Not really anything. Or where am I going with this? Yeah, thinking back on having persistent buttons, it's like they stand on it, they made their choice. And so I can have them set this number of players variable. Yeah, I can have the logic in the player for like making player choices. So it's just set. It's the logic for players who make choices. There's gonna have to be a better one for that, but I get rid of that. It takes in a choice, which is an enum. See, enum of which choice was made. So it's like if number of players is 0, or yep, global events dot num players is equal to 0, meaning no players have made a choice. We're gonna increment it by 1. Control C. Now here comes. See, I need to check if both players have made these. I may need to store what choice they've made. So I could be, this player made a choice, this is their choice. I have to have both players communicating together, and I'm doing it, it's a little weird because I'm doing it in a logic that both players share. So it's kind of hard to wrap my head around which players are, say, like, how to prevent this from going completely wrong. Like, they both share the same code, so technically they both have a copy of it. I don't know what to do. Well, I will know what to do. I'm gonna check if both players have made the same choice, and or am I like making this? Am I making this too complicated? I'm thinking back to the image I have in my head. One player is on it. Cool. And I've set so there were no players who were on it before, so it was the number of players who made a choice is 0. We set it to 1. Now I need to let, you know what, this is kind of complicated. I'm just gonna have one player make the choice at all times. I feel like I'm thinking, it's been like 30 minutes, or like, I feel like I've spent way too long trying to make this spaghetti logic work when I could have been doing better things. It's a lot easier if I just let one player decide, or like, I don't care which player decides if they both continue or if they don't continue. It makes it easier on my head, and it allows me to erase some of this stuff. Ooh. Because of whoops. It's typically how I go. I'm like, man, I want to do something simple. Oh, it's complicated. I think I can think my way through this. Sure can. Yeah, I'll have to come back and comment, you guys. Man, that'll be a day. Okay, that's done. Pawn, guess what? You didn't have anything. Yeah, you do have that tile. That tile can stay. Now I need to go to the grid and make sure that I get rid of this choice thing. I can keep the tiles. Yep. Thank you for letting me know. No longer emitting these 3 signals. Yeah. Let's get rid of these. One more. And instead, it'll just be a global thing. Someone has stepped on the well, you can walk on the buttons. That's technically true. What happens after is that it just gets set to open. What I'm gonna do now, because I think it might be a little easy-ish, is to say that those buttons take up 2 spaces. And what I can see is that where the actual button is it's not here. It's over on the right side. On the right side. On the right side. Why can't I walk on that button? Did I get rid of more things than I should have? I can do those just fine.
벌텍 중에도 가장
Return. Oh yeah. No, I know why I can't. Because this isn't a quit tile. This is actually a main menu tile.
아 그거는
There we go. They're all right here on the right, and so I just need to, when they're loaded in, add another tile right next to them. I can ask the grid to do it for me, because I think that's the way it should go. You should ask the grid if you want to modify the grid. So, well, yeah. Get pawn cell position. World to map. Do I need to do the other one now? Position, world to map. This is what I need. Or something similar to this. It's like, what could I write that would be generic that I could just reuse over and over? If I get the update pawn position. Add, it's like we're adding a cell. Right to the left, to the right, or up or down. Yeah, or rather, I could just say func add cell, or grow pawn, and I'll grow it in a direction. We'll pass in the position of the pawn in global coordinates and the direction. We'll have a start, which is going to equal the position in converted into map coordinates, so world to map. And the target position, which is equal to the start plus the direction. We'll check to make sure that it's open also. If let's say very much so to the requesting a move, it gets LV. Oh, if get is equal to tile type open, then you're free to get a copy. Oh, I guess I need the type. Grow pawn and like the type of tile. Tile type. How am I doing these? Am I doing any 2-word ones? Not really. I'll do type. So I don't know why I'm like thinking so hard on this. It's really just set cell V, the position, which is going to be the target, and the tile, which is going to be the type of tile it is. Easy day. And then I can say else if you're doing something weird, I can print a message saying print cannot grow tile, comma, not an open tile, It's like I want to say that they're already, let's say, blank tile already exists there. So plus string, and it's not the type, but it's gets LV. Yeah. Target. Convert that to a string. Plus exists at, and then I'll do the position or the target, which is going to have to be converted to a string also. These long messages that I can't break up, probably one of the downsides to working Ginga though. If you make long print messages, it's hard to break them up. Space exist. I don't know how to spell it. I'm probably gonna have typos all over the place. Exist. Blank exist at. Okay. An open tile. There. Cool. And it shouldn't return anything because it's magic. Now the question is, see, these guys, do they have their, I gave them their own, I didn't give them their own script, I just grabbed the normal one. So now each of these get to have their own script. Now inherit from pawn, and they're called different things. So save scene as, I'll start the process by renaming the win scene player their objects. Restart win tile, rename. We're gonna rename it to continue tile. Rename, boom. Rename this to continue tile. Continue tile, boom. And now I'll make a new script for it. Then inherits from pawn. I'll get rid of this script, add a new script. Prefab, continue tile. Nope, it's going to be in scripts. Continue tile. None to place. None to replace. Awesome. Create. Now this will set me up for when I actually want to go and move towards doing the actual logic for these tiles. And instead of extending no TD, you're going to extend pawn.gd. I'll do one and I'll test it, and then I'll go back and do the rest. And they should be identical. I'm going to need to get my parent, which is going to be the grid. And then I can call the function in grid called grow pawn, position, direction, and type. Yeah, just want to make sure I remember that. I called it, yeah, grow pawn. There we go. Position, direction, and type. Okay. So the position is my position. The direction, which is nice because we can use something like this to the left, which is and the type, which is going to be tall type, or which is just going to be type.
근데 이거는 X를 maxX보다 X
Type is not declared in current scope. You bet your mother it is somewhere.
하나로 다 넣으면
It's declared in the pond.gd. Capital T. Yeah. And now all you do is get rid of this thing that no longer exists. Delete. And add my new continue tile.
이게 그
Drag it to where it needs to go. Oh,
센터링 한 다음에 그걸 하면 그 사이즈가 풀리는.
and in the map, I'll print a message.
메스 사이즈를 제일
Has chosen to continue. And this continue tile, let's make sure that it's not an open tile, that it's a continue tile. Because I want to see those messages. I'm going to go walk on one. It's going to turn to open, but that's okay. Yes. It goes away right after, but that's okay. It worked. And now, finally, I completed 2 players to be able to walk on the buttons, or both of them can, and the buttons are now going to take up 2 spaces. I'm going to get rid of these buttons. Delete. And I'm going to go make sure that they all say the right things. Restart is now going to be called level select. Scene. Rename. Level select tile. Cool. Rename this. Level select tile. Or continue tile. Just put tile in there. Cool. Yep. Type is of level select. Awesome. Now I can get rid of that. Write its own. Not in there, but in the scripts. Yep. Level select tile.gd. Create. And it's going to look very similar to this one right here. Boop. Control C. Control V. Yeah. So now when I put that one, and you know, I'll do the quick tile or the main menu tile also, because they're going to be the same. Let's make sure to rename it. Rename main menu tile. Main tile. Main menu tile. Rename this. Get rid of this script. Add a new script called main menu tile. Not in the prefabs, but in the scripts. Open, create, get rid of, say, copy this. Pond.gd main menu tile. Control V. Yeah. And now I can go and add them. Level select tile as a child. It's on open and it needs to be on level select. put that down, and then the same for the main menu. Main menu's red. Main menu's gonna be red now. It just dawned on me. I may have to change the colors of those, but not right now. Main menu. I could also give them text. I don't know why I wouldn't give them text. I should go give them text if I have a couple extra minutes. There, Control C, Control V, Control V. Simple solution. Level select. Another level. Player has chosen to go to the main menu. Let's play it all up and use the other player this time. The other player's controller isn't working. How odd. Did I completely break them? Nope. Okay. Player has chosen to continue, and a select another level, and a select another level, and go to the main menu. Yes. Yes. Okay. I have a couple minutes. I'm gonna give each of these tiles a label and a text so people can read it. Hopefully. 2D. Label. There. Full rect. That was. Let's put that on the texture. Full rect. Okay. Content. I can do lowercase. Continue. And let's center it. Top center. Nice. I'm not using anything crazy right now. I could. I can. I'm not. I'm going to. New dynamic font. Open it up. Because I know I have a font, so I can just go grab it really quick. It's in assets, under art, under font. Kenny Vector of the Future. Put that in there. Nice. That actually looks nice. Let's see what it looks like when it's like bigger. Continue. There. Will it show up? Continue, and then when it's black, let's go to my guy. Boop. Not bad. Okay, the rest of them get the same treatment. Can I can't drag it over. I'm like, drag this over there. Label. I'll just do it really quick. Here. Click the label. Full rect. This is the main menu. Custom font. Dynamic font. I really should apply a theme one day. Font color black. Font. Kenny Vector of the Future.
So
Settings. 24. There we go.
Yeah, around
Main
up,
menu, and it's already uppercase, so that doesn't matter.
and then I
But
have
center.
translating
No auto wrap. Center. There we go. Level
I
select.
guess, yeah.
Labeled.
So this is rotating, but it's not
Full rect.
rotating
I'm
around
super
the
glad that it
center,
just
rotating
automatically goes around the texture. It just knows to go around the texture. Custom
Yeah.
color.
So that
black.
means it's not at 0.
T.
The center of it is not.
Level select custom font,
So I
dynamic
take
font,
the,
font
minimum
font is going to be
X, minimum Y, minimum Z,
convector.
and then I add that
There.
to X
Let's make it
distance
24.
divided by Y distance divided by Z.
Let's make that one 20. There we go.
Because
Can't be too big. I guess it's spread out.
So max.
There we go. That's kind of pushing it, but I mean it's really pushing it, but
So new point's just the point that I've read in the file. And then
maybe that one can be like 2 words instead.
Yeah, X, Y, Z, X, Y, Z, X, Y, Z.
There we go. Kinda small, but it's okay. Main menu, another level. Yay! I can like have you pretend to highlight them, but we're not gonna do that right now. I need more time to think about the logic behind like making my own buttons. That's really what I'm doing right here. And if I want you to be able to like, when you hover over it or you step over it, change, and when you step off of it, I'm gonna need a little bit more complex logic, and I definitely don't have the time for that right now. But I'm still working on having you win the game, or like at this point it's kind of grown out to like I'm having you make your own system, or like I'm doing like a level select system where I main menu. I'm trying to get those in so that it really starts to look like a full game, and you'll be able to start and hit the start menu, so the main menu, hit play, and actually load a level. And once I have that complete, I'll start making actual levels with this system, and from there the game can just grow as I add new features. So I'm excited. I'm really glad I got those in. They look so cool. I guess let me make sure to write it down. I gotta make sure that they don't load right now. See, prevent. I could place them. I prevent loading the new win screen.
Okay, so like. So I need to find
Until you're ready. Like I think it'll just take a signal and then like, hey, add this block here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
I may actually look into how I want to do that right now. I could hide or not hide them, but that's not what I really want to do. I want us to be like play the game, or rather, you win. You win. Signal.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? Yeah. Easier than I thought. What if the grid listens to the UN signal, then I can just add them as children to the grid and say where they need to be, and then we're golden. So I think that's what I'll do next time. Like specifically, it's still getting the player to win and fine tuning that so it's not so messy. But I've run out of time, and I'll definitely be working on it tomorrow. I'm gonna keep writing down my ideas to make sure that I don't forget. Say thank you for those who did watch or who are listening to me, or not. Everyone else has like headphones around me. See, I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.